is your will to win and your need to be competitive holding back your jiu-jitsu? This is guilty. This is a challenging thing because it's not that anyone wants to lose when they are doing BJJ, but playing your A game all the time could be holding back your learning. So we're going to talk about this competitive versus creative piece and really see how this might help you or hinder you depending on how you're approaching your jiu-jitsu right now. Now, I am an ultra competitive person. I don't like to lose at anything. And this is possibly why I am not happy a lot of the time, because I'm trying to win everything. But also I like doing some creative shit because it's fun. But I find it hard to not be competitive when I'm at jiu-jitsu, especially if I'm rolling somebody who's really good and they're putting it on me. I can't accept. It's one of those things. Like there's something in me. I don't know where. It's just.
What if it's someone that's not that good that's putting it on you?
Yeah, they got lucky. No, I don't know.
Right. Is that not worse than someone who's really good putting it on you?
A lot of coke going on right here. Yeah. Steroids. No, for me, I have always wanted to be the best. And so I find it difficult to not have that as a default mode. But I've had my best roles actually where I wasn't actually trying to win. Like the exchange was better. Yeah. Have you found this, Joe, where you've had a role which maybe was like very competitive, but then maybe not much happened, or it wasn't?
Oh, fuck yeah, all the time. I mean, yeah, totally right. Adam and I have this all the time where he pulls reverse De La Riva and I enter my knee cut.
Yeah.
And we go every time we go there, and every time we both go, here we are again.
We're going to be here all day.
and maybe 30 to 40% of the time, I cut through. Maybe it's more like half the time I get through.
Half and half, yeah.
But, he'll have a counter thing. But then half of the times I get through, I'll, have side control or some kind of dominant position. But we're just like, why the fuck do we keep doing this every fucking time?
Yeah.
But it's because
A game versus A game.
Yeah, and it's like, and we've spoken about it, and it's like, well, we actually hardly get to train together. So when we train together, it's like, well, I just want to fucking go for it.
Yeah.
I just want to fucking throw down, and I want to beat you.
Give it your best.
Yeah, and so an acknowledgement there. Right? If we were training together every night or 4 times a week, and that was happening, you'd be like, guys, this is ridiculous. Like, we need to fucking do something else.
You could temper it a bit more, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, particularly as I've done less jiu-jitsu in recent years, my default is to just do what I always do.
Sure.
So you end up playing your A game, right?
Definitely.
And for sure, it totally closes you off from the myriad of other positions and things you could be learning.
I think the thing that
you're gonna fucking lose. So what are you gonna do?
and without going too cliche on it, it was the thing that highlighted this to me was so shout out to my house brother and friend and bulletproof athlete Fabinho Coloi. He plays De La Riva on the offside, like on the right side, and I don't know why it started like that for him, or maybe he chose it, but I always played De La Riva on the left side. And when he started doing that to me, I was like,
as in you're going around to the left.
He
likes to go around to the right.
Yeah. He always hooks with the right side and he bolos to that side and he has these sweeps set off that side. And it's kind of like someone who's a southpaw in boxing. It throws you off straight away. You're like, well, hang on. They're playing their guard to the opposite side. I'm not as good at cutting to that. I'm not as good at dealing with that. And so it challenges you. And then when we were practicing positions, he would say, oh man, let's do it on this side. And I guess it's like if you're used to training a skill or like hitting a hammer with your right hand, you try and hit with your left and you're like, my God, my left is so much worse. I think we're all aware that we have a dominant side, whether it's guard or a knee cut pass or whatever it is, right? But he forced me to play on the opposite side. The interesting thing I found with this, and this kind of throws me back to high school when I played basketball, my stronger side actually got better, even though it sounds strange. My old basketball coach used to make us shoot with our non-dominant hand. And as soon as I would switch back, it felt so much easier to just shoot with my dominant side. And so by going to that, playing De La Riva on the offside, on my non-preferred side, I got past more and I was not as good there. But after about 3 months, I got really good there. And so I could play either side. And then it was just like my jiu-jitsu just expanded. And it's kind of like that, the willingness to suck or feel foolish or be shit in the short term that then unlocks bigger gains.
Yeah, it's a funny comparison you make with the basketball thing, because I was just thinking about if you were doing that, then potentially at basketball training, coach is like, yeah, just shoot with your offhand.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, no worries. And you're probably missing most of your shots, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's training.
Yes.
And then I'm sure if you're playing games through that point, coach, you're like, don't do it at the games. At the games, play your good side, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But with jiu-jitsu, training is the game.
Yes.
For most of us.
Yeah.
Training is the competition. And so you're like, this time where you're in the lab training, where you really should feel okay to do, you're like, I can't fucking do that. I got to beat everyone.
Yeah, I can't have
I can't fucking lose. But this is the irony of it. And this is where you get that sort of different paths of competitors versus hobbies, because competitors are like, no, I actually do competitions.
They have a willingness.
So training is different for me. And it's sort of ironic that a lot of the really good competitors will be working on things and allow themselves to suck in training so that they can perform better at comp.
Yeah.
Whereas the hobbyists are like, I will not lose training.
This is to the death.
Yeah. And the hobbyists will go away and be like, yo, I fucking passed so-and-so's guy.
Yeah.
That guy just fucking won the Australian no-gi championships and I passed him and choked him, twice this week.
Yeah.
So by default, I'm obviously the
I
champion.
am the Australian champion. I stole his aura.
Yeah. Gary Tonin says that, right?
Yeah.
That he famously gets subbed a bunch of times in training.
Yeah, and actually Bernardo Faria was very famous for getting tapped out by lower ranked people in training, and all the senior belts are like, what's wrong with you? You just got tapped out by a boob. But then in comp, he would
compete against me, cunt.
Yeah, and find out what it's like then. It is a different scenario. And I think it is challenging for folks who don't compete regularly, because like you say, that is their competition. That is the expression of their competitive spirit. So fuck, you got to let them get it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't be competitive.
No, yeah, it's
Fuck.
part of the fun.
Get it. It is. What I love about jiu-jitsu is it is an excuse to express intensity. And therefore, the great post jiu-jitsu, just walk out, oh fuck, the world's okay, drive home, you're just like, it's fine. You just have this, it's kind of like being high. You're just like, it's all good, man. Like no stress, it's such an amazing feeling, the post jiu-jitsu high, because you've been able to get out all the stress and all the nerves and all the everything, as well as having all the connectedness and everything else. The thing which I wanted to get to on this is like there was actually a study done showing that if something was learnt, a skill, it was actually a skill, it was soccer skills actually. Let's speak to you, Joe. There's certain soccer skills.
God's game.
Football. Obrigado Deus. The thing is, when the skills were framed as a game, they were absorbed 4 times faster than just skills practiced individually.
Right.
So when that was done with kids between the age of 10 to 14, like prepubescent kids, I guess. And so they were getting them to just practice like cone drills versus getting them to try to complete certain movements before shooting.
Right.
Which resulted in them having to dribble more. But when they came back and they retested the kids who'd done cone drills versus the kids who'd done the games, the kids who'd done 20 minutes of games versus I think it was 2 or 3 hours of cone drills actually performed better on the cone drills.
Right.
Pardon me. And so what they're saying here is that the ability to absorb the lesson or kind of take in the message or the skill, it was actually their brains were more receptive in the fun, creative, playful element as opposed to the idea of drilling. And I know that all my CLA, Greg Souders, all my guys out there will be like, constraints-based games, boy. What? Gee, Souders, am I right? Shout out DeAndre. But yeah, and it was just interesting because obviously that's very specific soccer. But they were just saying that it's the fun and the creativity of it wasn't told to them specifically what they had to do, but through this game they were forced to dribble and move, and that meant that they got better at the skill because it was creative and fun. It wasn't necessarily like drilled into them, do this 100 times and you must,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, right. They weren't given exact instructions on how to execute the thing.
No.
It's like get from point A to point B.
Yeah, and but they had to have a certain amount of touches
Yeah.
before they're allowed to shoot or whatever it was. And so this idea of being creative, because the thing that I've always been extremely grateful for, and you might have had this too, Joe, where you're rolling with someone who's way better than you and they let you work a bit. I mean, I find it frustrating now. I find it
fucking
condescending.
catch 'em in a cheeky armbar. They went, and you just fucking bam, cunt. You fucking walk out of there. You're like, I tapped that cunt.
No,
I thought he was good.
I don't think that. No,
Not that.
Well, I had it. I had it the other day, about a bit over a month ago. I had a roll with Nico Majilic, and he just not like he let me work, but he didn't smash me.
Best heavyweight
But
gi
I
guy in the
could
country.
not
One of
do
the
much
best
to
best
him.
No gi guy in the country.
Yeah, gi and no gi. Like
Yeah,
he's pretty
all of it.
he's all round. I think he's Australia's most achieved
Well, he's a world
gi
champion.
competitor.
World champion in the gi, right?
Weight and absolute at purple and at brown.
Wow.
And so not just worlds, I think Pan Americans, and he might have won Euros. Like he's
All of it.
all of it in the gi. And now he is doing more no gi. So
Yeah.
you're going to see more of him. The two elements that you need to guarantee your success in the gym are guidance and accountability. The big mistake that we see people making when training for BJJ is doing random workouts. That's why we made the Bulletproof for BJJ app. We have our online community that can give you feedback and help you out. And then we also have our structured programs that will get you fitter, stronger, and more flexible for BJJ. We've got a 14-day free trial. Get in there, try it out. And if you decide that it's not for you, we have a 100% money back guarantee. So go to the Play Store, go to the App Store, download the app, and we'll see you on the inside. He was too nice to me. It hurt me because it was condescending. And he was like, nah, man, no, I didn't have it. I was like, bullshit, dude. You could have armbarred me. Just do it. And he's like, no, I didn't have it, you know? And he's so laid back and so nice about it. I was like, damn it, he's so much better than me. He doesn't even need to try, you know? And it's the same thing with
Also a very handsome man.
oh, he's a lovely guy. And
He really sounds like the complete package.
he's a lovely guy. He's very down to earth. You talk to him, you're like, there's no pretense about him.
Wow.
Fuck. Shit. It's got to be steroids. No, he's the most natty guy. You could just look at him. But it's funny that like Levi, I remember rolling with Levi a couple of years back. He just dropped in randomly to Vantage when at the old gym.
Yeah.
No, he just came in and I was taking the lunch class and he just jumped in and we had a roll and, you know, I wasn't trying super hard, but I was trying to feel what he was doing and very quickly he took my back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right, he's going to finish me here because this is fucking Levi Xanadu. He's got my back. I'm in trouble. And then he had me in the body triangle and then he switched out and went to something else. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, no, man, I'm just working here, you know? Like he was just grooving, vibing and sliding. And I was like, do it.
You're like,
kill me.
Finish me so that I get a second shot at taking your head off.
Give me a reason to fight back. Yeah. No, he just did it, you know, because it's just training. And I think that's the thing. It's when somebody is being creative and they're not probably too focused on trying to win, better jiu-jitsu transpires.
Yeah.
You probably would have, you know, have you had that experience where maybe it was not something you predicted, but you just had a really great roll with somebody, like the exchange was good?
Yeah, fuck, heaps of times. Some of the best roles I've had have been within that context of like, hey, let's not try and kill each other tonight. You know, I think back to some of the guys training more recently over at Balmain.
Yeah.
Like Lockie and Rod and stuff, where it's like, yeah, you know, with Lockie, we had that conversation of like, hey, let's not try it, because we were very competitive with each other. And then as soon as we both said that, the training was sick.
Yeah.
And, you know, shit happens and you get these mad opportunities and you find yourself in situations that you didn't find yourself in before. Another good tip that I got from Coach Paul, actually, Paul Smeebert, was like, he was talking about a reflection on when I think Declan had come in to teach a seminar there, and he was talking about how some of the boys, just like when they came to roll, they put it on him, and he's like, Declan fucking smashed them, but they put it on him real hard, which he goes, I just thought it was uncool, but also they didn't allow any space to just feel it out a bit, and so he was like, you can go into the role and play a bit defensively, but let them move. Just keep your guard retention, keep your defense tight.
See what they do.
But don't try to dominate from the beginning. And I thought, fuck, and I've, playing like that sometimes after having that conversation, it's like you see opportunities that you didn't used to see when you're just trying to smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, Declan is, obviously Declan is a nightmare and is
he's going to get you eventually, right?
Yeah. But I trained.
But as
I trained with Declan, I think maybe 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And he was so nice to me.
Well, yeah, an elite guy like that, similar to Nico and Levi, right? They don't have to prove anything.
No.
So if you're coming at it with a slightly more chilled energy, they're probably going to match it, and it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it probably comes back more to if we think of jiu-jitsu kind of like a conversation, that if someone's just yelling at you, then they can't hear what you have to say, and that when you are listening more, then there's more of an exchange.
Yeah.
That I hear your point of view, my point of view. It's not even an argument. It's just an exchange. And that's where the learning is, because you're listening. And that when you're being competitive, you're just yelling. And it's just a yelling match. And that I yell louder, you yell louder. And then it's that doesn't actually result in you taking anything away from what they did. And it is cool, actually. And it can come from a competitive role when someone does something to you and you don't know what it is. You're like, what was that? And then after the role, you go, hey man, what was that thing you just fucking hit me with? Oh, it's just this thing where I do this and do that. And you go, what the fuck? And they show it to you. And then you're like, God damn, the learning is really there.
Yeah.
And that is, I definitely find that I have in the past had really terrible roles just by not allowing jiu-jitsu to happen. I'm not going to lose. It's not even about winning. It's just I refuse to lose. So therefore, we're just going to grind out this one position for 5 minutes, and then you go nowhere, I go nowhere, and you didn't tap me. That's...
Yeah.
It gets a bit...
Yeah, so you get disappointed in yourself, right? Playing that way.
Because it's what jiu-jitsu actually happened.
Yeah. What did I gain from that?
Yeah.
Let alone not even asking what did they gain, what did we create? But it's what did I learn from that? You're well, nothing. I just did what I always do and I didn't lose.
Yeah. And that's...
maybe still lost it.
Yeah, maybe that is the losing. The mentality in and of itself is the loss. And this idea of training versus competing, or it wouldn't matter if you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're lifting weights. There's definitely room for less intensity.
But I do think, to that point, because you might be hearing this discussion thinking, yeah, fuck, I need to back it off a little bit on the hyper competitive piece and allow some more shit to happen. You can't do it with everyone.
No.
There's certain people out there that you can't give that sort of freedom to.
No.
Because
it can get unsafe too.
That's right. If you're rolling with someone that's scrappy and competitive and maybe a bit oblivious to the nature of the role.
Or maybe they're fucking mean.
Yeah.
They'll take advantage, if you give some people, as much as you like to think, oh man, I can trust my training partners, there's some people out there,
probably not all of them,
know that, they might crank it a bit, or if they get space on you, then they might slam you, or there's those people, and just for self-preservation, you've got to keep a degree of, you've got to match that. The energy is almost like a form of self-defense, to not be I'm just being creative today, and whatever it might be.
Oh, stack pass. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, I, as someone who is a hyper competitive, for sure, the learning, being competitive is kind of the doing and the expression, but it's not the learning. It's the creativity and the openness is really where the improvements occur. And it's that, I guess, that idea of the difference between creating and then executing. That I think you've said it before when we've talked about content. What's that phrase, Joe?
Don't try to don't try to plan and execute at the same time.
Yeah.
They're two separate processes.
They are two separate processes. And I personally believe that like the learning and the executing the A game, they are kind of somewhat separate, quite different. So trying to do them simultaneously may result in neither good thing happening. There it is, folks. Stay creative. Keep on learning.